Every 2 weeks, a language dies. Not metaphorically, literally vanishes from human history, taking with it thousands of years of accumulated knowledge, stories, and ways of understanding the world. Right now, more than 40% of the world's 7,000 languages are endangered, spoken by fewer than 1,000 people. And linguists are in a desperate race against time to document them before they're gone forever. Today, we're diving deep into why languages disappear, what makes some vulnerable, and the innovative ways researchers are fighting to preserve humanity's most precious linguistic heritage. The scale of language loss. We're facing an extinction crisis that rivals biodiversity loss, yet most people don't even realize it's happening. A language dies roughly every 2 weeks, some estimates suggest every 10 hours. Since 1900, we've lost approximately 1,400 languages. If current trends continue, by 2100, we'll have lost more than half of the world's remaining languages. Indigenous communities are hit hardest. 96% of the world's languages are spoken by just 3% of the population, making them incredibly fragile. Why languages die, the root causes. Language death rarely happens overnight. It's usually a slow process driven by cultural pressure, economics, and migration. Globalization pushes speakers toward dominant languages like English, Mandarin, or Spanish for economic opportunity. Young people abandon ancestral languages to integrate into wider society. Colonization and forced assimilation policies still actively occurring in some regions accelerate the decline. When a language loses younger speakers, it enters what linguists call the critical juncture, the point where transmission to the next generation breaks. Once that chain snaps, the language becomes progressively endangered until only elderly speakers remain. The knowledge that vanishes with each language. When a language dies, we don't just lose words, we lose entire worldviews. Many indigenous languages encode ecological knowledge accumulated over thousands of years, which plants heal specific ailments, how to navigate by stars, sustainable practices that modern science is only now validating. The Australian Aboriginal language Gugu uses absolute directions instead of relative ones. Speakers always know cardinal directions, a cognitive skill being lost in speaker communities. Hawaiian, once nearly extinct, carries terms for ocean conditions and navigation that modern oceanographers find scientifically precise. Linguistic diversity reflects cognitive diversity. Losing languages means losing different ways of thinking about reality itself. Case studies, languages on the brink. Let's look at specific examples. Ainu, indigenous to Japan, has roughly 20,000 speakers, mostly over 60 years old. Dasanak, spoken in Kenya and Ethiopia, might have only 1,000 remaining speakers. Kustanai, a language from North America, was spoken by a single person, Marie Smith Jones, until her death in 2008. Dumi, spoken in the Himalayas, has fewer than 100 speakers. But perhaps most striking is the situation with American Indian languages. 500 years ago, over 1,000 languages flourished north of Mexico. Today, that number is around 250, and 200 of those are spoken exclusively by people over 40. Some languages are so endangered that fluent speakers could fit in a single room. The race to document modern preservation methods. Linguists have shifted from purely academic documentation to emergency preservation. The Rosetta Project works to catalog endangered languages through stone disks and digital archives. Google's Endangered Languages initiative combines machine learning with human expertise to create searchable language databases. Linguists conduct audio and video documentation, recording not just words but context, cultural expressions, and traditional songs. Some projects use video games designed in endangered languages, helping younger people engage with ancestral speech through digital media. The ILCA American Indian Language Development Institute trains community members to become documentation specialists, ensuring indigenous peoples lead their own preservation efforts rather than remaining passive subjects of study. Technology as a lifeline, AI and digital archives. Artificial intelligence is becoming a crucial tool. Speech recognition algorithms trained on endangered languages can help preserve pronunciation with machine-level precision. Digital dictionaries with audio examples allow dispersed community members to access their heritage language from anywhere. Some communities use augmented reality applications to label environments in their native language, creating immersive learning experiences. However, technology isn't a complete solution. It requires sufficient data to work, and many endangered languages have insufficient digital documentation. The real power comes from technology partnering with community initiative. When a language community decides to use digital tools for transmission, success rates dramatically increase. This approach respects indigenous autonomy rather than treating preservation as something done to communities. Community-led revival, when languages come back. Some languages aren't just preserved, they are actively revived. Modern Hebrew was essentially a classical language with few native speakers until Jewish communities deliberately revived it in the 19th and 20th centuries. It's now the daily language of millions. Welsh, nearly extinct in the mid-20th century, saw a resurgence through immersion schools and cultural pride movements. Today, around 900,000 people speak Welsh. Maori, the language of New Zealand's indigenous people, was spoken by less than 20% of Maori children in the 1970s. Intensive revitalization efforts, including Maori language nurseries and media, have increased that to over 20% again, with many young fluent speakers. These successes share common elements: community determination, institutional support, and cultural pride. Languages don't die because communities run out of words, they die because communities lose the will to speak them. The broader implications: what we're losing. The extinction of languages represents a loss of human heritage comparable to losing archaeological sites or extinctions of species. Each language embodies unique grammatical structures that reveal different ways human brains can organize information. They contain oral traditions, myths, and historical narratives that globalization has never recorded. They hold the intellectual property of communities, medicinal knowledge, artistic traditions, spiritual practices. When linguists lose a language, they lose a source of insights into human cognition, history, and culture. But perhaps most critically, they lose something intangible: the sense of identity and cultural continuity for the communities themselves. Language isn't just a communication tool, it's the vessel of a people's soul, the container of their history, and the blueprint of their future. What you can do: supporting language preservation. If you're moved by this crisis, there are concrete ways to help. Support organizations like the Endangered Languages Project, the Living Tongues Institute, or the First Peoples Worldwide Language Project through donations or volunteering. If you're Indigenous or part of a minority language community, consider becoming involved in documentation or educational initiatives. Learn an endangered language. Even Basics demand from apps and educational platforms supports their development. Advocate for Indigenous language rights in education and media within your own country. Recommend Indigenous language media to younger people in your communities. And fundamentally, recognize that preserving endangered languages is preserving human diversity. Every language that survives is a victory for humanity's intellectual and cultural heritage. The death of a language is often quiet, unnoticed by the wider world, but it's catastrophic for the communities that speak it and for all of humanity. The good news? We still have time. Thousands of endangered languages can be saved if we act now, and more importantly, if we empower the communities who speak them to choose their own linguistic futures. Language preservation isn't academic busywork, it's cultural survival. If you found this exploration of humanity's linguistic crisis fascinating, smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss a video like this one.